Hey, hi, Deanna Nunez here, Vital Mind Coach. How's it going? We are live from San Diego, woohoo! Downtown San Diego, absolutely beautiful. It's a warm summer day, and I'm glad that you're here with me tonight. We are going to be talking about vitality, and for any of us that, let's see, go to my husband's going to go, Troy's going to go to my profile page so we can get everybody over here to the business page. But where you are now is on my professional page, which if you haven't liked this page, I would encourage you to do so. I always have a bunch of great pictures because this is linked to my Instagram account. And I have turned into one of those like crazy people that loves taking pictures. Are you one of those as well? I have been enjoying on my travels for the last 18 months, going all over the world with Norwegian Cruise Lines and teaching mindset seminars and doing edutainment on the big stage. It's been really fun on ships all over the world. And so I have had a lot of photography opportunities. And so I feed my Instagram page with all of those beautiful photos. So that is linked to my professional page, and I would encourage you to go check it out. There's some really pretty pictures of the travels that I have been on. So tonight we are going to be talking about vitality, and it's one of my favorite subjects because it's everything. It's everything to really truly feeling an energetic purpose in life and feeling it not just in your soul and your spirit, which is so important, but also being able to emanate that energy through your body. And so what we're going to talk about tonight is some strategies, specific strategies on how you can start to create vitality in your life. So as we jump right into our topic tonight, I first want to just tell you a couple of things. If you're watching on the replay, go ahead and do replay right now. Just type it in real quick. And I want you to know that this is super interactive. So you might know me from the stage doing entertainment hypnosis shows or seminars, and you know that I typically have a lot of energy on stage. I've been able to just come out there and turn it on and know how to do that. I didn't start off that way. Back in the day, 20 years ago, when I got on my first stage, I was scared to death. And then I learned how to be able to just really source that vital energy and bring it to the audience. And so one thing that I always say is, come on, make some noise. And I'm always expecting my audiences to really raise the vibration in the room or the space or the theater, or sometimes it's outdoor amphitheaters, but to really raise the vibration, everybody's got to be into it. Everybody's got to interact. And whether you're interacting with just an applause or you're interacting with laughter or whatever it is, that you are supporting the energy in the space. And so here on an FB Live, the way you can support the energy is to let it be like fireworks. Thumbs up, hearts, just interact. Tell me what you're thinking. I want to know. I want to know. And so if I say something that spurs a thought in your mind, please share it with me, because I always go back and I like to go in and answer questions or respond to what you had to say, because it's really more of a conversation. Even in all of my mindset seminars that I do, I always want it to be interactive, because I want to be sure that I'm hitting the right points and that the people in my audiences have a takeaway. And so often you find if you've been sitting in my audience, you can't just really just sit there and mind your own business, because I'm asking you questions and I'm asking you what's your biggest takeaway, and I'm asking you to do stuff like clap your hands or participate in some way. So I have the same expectation of you here on my FB Lives. So I am Deanna Nunez. I'm a mindset speaker and coach, and I really just help individuals and organizations develop a vital mindset towards internalizing their goals, their productivity, and all that they want to create. And as we dive in tonight to creating this vital life, what does it mean? What does it mean to have vitality? We love that word. We throw it around a lot. And a lot of times we think of vitality as something that we aspire to as we age, right? And vitality. But the dictionary, vitality, the word itself means the state of being strong and active, energy. Ah, how cool is that, right? That's what I want. Continuance of life, the power in all living things. That is vitality. I think that's a pretty spectacular thing to have in your life. So tonight here on Wake Up Wednesdays, this is what we're talking about every Wednesday, our strategies and tactics for you to be able to just wake up your life. And as a hypnotist, I'm a trained hypnotherapist, and I've been doing that for 20 years. And thank God, because it's been such an amazing experience meeting people all over the world. And I appreciate the, just the interactions that I have with people, because it makes me feel vital, and it makes you feel vital as we have that energetic exchange. So, hey, Savvy, I think she wants to come say hi because she's really loud in the background. That would be my 11-year-old. So as we go through this tonight, we're focusing on strategies tonight that are focused on your eating, thinking, and feeling vitality. So what are some things that you can do, that you can implement right away to think, eat, and feel your most vital? How awesome is that, right? So many times when I'm working with people, in my coaching, my favorite tool is hypnosis. I love how fast and easy it is to shift someone's perspective, to shift how they view themselves, to shift their beliefs, their mindset, instill habits. It's an amazing tool. And so often they come to me thinking I'm going to put them to sleep, right? That's the association with hypnosis, that I'm going to put them to sleep. And really, what I'm really there to do is to wake you up, to your talents, your abilities, your purpose, your productivity, all the things inside you that get fueled when you get connected to what you're really here to accomplish. It just really sets your dreams on fire and starts to help you believe in yourself. So tonight, these particular tactics, I want to know what you can take away with you and start implementing immediately. There's 3. So we're going to focus on eating, thinking, and feeling vitally alive. Sound good? Give me thumbs up. Give me hearts. Sounds good? All right, good. All right, so the very first one is your emotions. So emotions are crazy powerful because they play all kinds of brain tricks on our mindset. Now, when I say that brain tricks, what I'm talking a bit about is the power of your subconscious mind, aka the feeling mind. As soon as you feel something in your body, we have hormones that get released, right? I know you know this, but have you thought about how amazingly powerful that chemical reaction is? And it works for us and sometimes against us. So that chemical reaction, as soon as we feel happy or pleasurable, we have, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, and we love those, right? Because we feel so good. And so often we can be linking that feel-good feeling with the wrong habits. Let's just look at the example of smoking. A smoker has a hard time quitting because they have put so many powerful beliefs into what the cigarette actually provides them. We know that it is, in actuality, none of the things that are pleasurable. They are killing your health, taking away your health, actually raising your blood pressure, when often a smoker thinks that their blood pressure, is being lowered. So often it is the emotion of how they associate with the cigarette. So there's pleasurable feelings. I feel like I'm lowering my stress. I feel like I have a buddy. I feel like I have a friend. I have an accompaniment. I feel like I can leave to go have a cigarette and just have a down moment. All of those are pleasurable emotions. So our emotions create all of these chemical reactions. And so then in actuality, physiologically we're feeling those feelings of pleasure. And so often we link those feelings to foods, to vices, to, like I mentioned, the cigarettes, to different vices that are playing a brain trick on us. And so it's very important that we open up, we wake up our minds to what's actually happening, because gosh, isn't it so great that you actually get your emotional needs met truly and completely, not just with a temporary vice. So it's really important that you're aware and awake to these things. I also ask you to just think about stress hormones. When you're feeling stressed out, which I know I do, that's why I run, that's why I exercise, that's why I take a moment. I take a moment to just be able to use self-hypnosis to calm down, to be able to bring those cortisol levels down. So what's actually happening with stress hormones is you are producing that cortisol stress hormone and sometimes adrenaline. But think about it. As we were originally created, the stress hormones were a good thing, right? We're like running from a tiger, and then we have pleasure of hanging out under a tree. So those hormones are there for a purpose, but they were not meant to keep us. We're not supposed to stay at chronic levels of stress. And that is often the environment that we're in these days. Overworked, overscheduled, and we're not necessarily taking time for ourselves to come down, to de-stress. And so that emotional piece to your vitality is really, really important. And so I encourage you to really take stock and appreciation in those things that do bring down your stress levels. It's okay to be stressed once in a while. Like, that actually creates our ambition to do things. But what we want to do is make sure that we have included in our time schedules the things that bring us bliss, the activities that bring us happiness and joy, even if it's the smallest thing, by being able to break state, break emotional state, break stress state. It's a term we use in hypnosis, but what it truly means is to be able to break the trance of what you're in. So maybe you are completely dialed in and focused on a project and you haven't gotten up from your chair in a while. It's really important that you just go take a walk. So don't underestimate the power of short bursts of exercise. So number 2 is all about your food and hydration. So our second focus here is how to create vitality with your foods, with all of your intake that your body needs, and that would include hydration as well. So as we eat well and hydrate well, there's some really important things to remember, and I want to keep it super simplified because I know that you know good nutrition, but that just doesn't mean you're doing it. Right? Doesn't mean that you're actually implementing your good nutrition most of the time. And so I would ask you to take a look at your percentages. How often are you implementing good nutrition? There's so many different ways of eating. You might be a vegetarian. You might love paleo. You might be more focused on just eating lean foods. I think that the simpler, no matter what it is, the more simple, the better off you are. So I want you to think of this as a takeaway for your foods. Focus on one ingredient foods. Total no-brainer, right? One ingredient foods. You're going to find those one ingredient foods at your farmers markets, along the outside of the grocery store. When you're walking around the outer aisles is where they keep all of the lean meats, the vegetables, the fruits, all of the things that are healthy for you. You can grab some fresh flowers to go with that, to put on your table when you're eating. It'll make you feel good. So really keeping your nutrition as simple as possible is absolutely important. In fact, this week you might have seen the interview with Jaylene Welch. She's one of my clients that lost over 100 pounds. And she was saying, I've just learned to be really disciplined at the grocery store. So those other foods don't even make it into her house where you might be tempted. So I know I don't have enough willpower to say no to ice cream sometimes. And so it's better if it's not in my house. It's my kryptonite. So I am very mindful about my food and nutrition because I like living in a lean, healthy body. It feels good. I have energy, and I know you will too. And all you got to do is incorporate some of these things, and you'll be able to create your magic really, really quickly. So one of the things I just want you to think about is there's kind of a formula here. There's two different formulas I actually want to share with you. One is the formulation of water intake, and that is times your weight by 67%, and you'll have ounces for the day. That is the formulation for your water intake to keep yourself hydrated. And if you're working out for like 40 minutes a day, then you need to add about 18 ounces to that. And then the formula for your nutrition can be so simple. I want you to think of this. A veggie, any kind of vegetable, and there's tons of them, right? A veggie and a protein equals a fat burning formula. A veggie and a protein equals a fat burning formula. And so that means that you, yes, incorporate some fruits. Fruits are 4 to 1 to vegetables. So 4 vegetables to every 1 fruit. There's a lot of sugar in fruits, but so important because there's so many wonderful nutrients in fresh fruits, right? And they can also satisfy our sweet tooth, which is incredibly important. Oh my gosh, I've been eating the navel oranges from my mother-in-law's orange trees at her property, and they're so good. My husband brings them home. But man, veggies and proteins. So you can think about there's so many delicious ways to put together vegetables and proteins. It can be grilled, salmon, fish, chicken, all kinds of different things, turkey patties, along with a grilled vegetable or along with a salad. If you really allow yourself to incorporate that formula most of the time, you're going to find that you lean out really, really quickly, and you're absolutely satisfied and have plenty of energy, because remember, there's carbohydrates in vegetables, but they are the good kind of carbohydrates. So important. And of course, I'm speaking to the average individual. If you're somebody that has if you're an athlete, then you probably already know your nutrition, and you need to have some more carbohydrates to have energy. So as we incorporate those formulas, we now know how to eat for vitality. So we're talking about how to feel for vitality with our emotions, how to eat for vitality, and now we're going to talk about how to think for vitality. And I want you to just think about how thinking and emotions, our psychological state and our emotional state, are so near and dear to one another. We bounce back and forth. And so we've got to be able to manage our emotions better. And so often we're overthinking and we're causing worry and stress. We have emotional upheaval. We have internal conflicts. I know I have worked my way through some doozy of some internal conflicts. And I actually, it's a struggle, but at the same time, my ultimate quest is to turn my struggles into strengths. And I feel like that should be for you too, because that is how you create vitality in your life. Is we can't always control the circumstances or even our own family circumstances, but the emotional upheaval the burden that you carry is your choice to either carry it or find ways to let it go. And that is truly what I do with my clients, is to help them create vitality through both letting go of emotional baggage as well as helping them with their health and fitness at the same time. I have found it to be incredibly rewarding work because, man, people feel so good, and then it really just sets them on fire, sets them so in motion to go after their dreams and goals. When you are in a mindset where you are fixed or you feel like you have these limitations, and I work through them all the time myself, so I get like how sometimes it can feel so real, some of those imprisoned mindset states. But I encourage you, when you focus on your thinking, to just create awareness of what you're thinking, and stop yourself when it is unbeneficial to you. Can I get a bunch of hearts for that one, right? When it is unbeneficial thinking. So we want to improve the quality of our thinking so that the quality of your thinking is creating emotional states that are beneficial to you. So when you are, in an overthinking state, you can cause yourself all kinds of stress-related issues, headaches, autoimmune disorders and issues, weight gain, of course, that's always one, stomach issues, bowel issues. There's so many things. We are so mind-body connected that we've got to be able to enjoy taking care of both, taking care of both your mind and your body. So purposeful thinking and feeling, being willing, just to have difficult conversations, recognizing when, maybe not everything is water under the bridge for you. And there's some stuff, right? Like stuff in the back of your head that's still hanging around, or it's heavy in your chest. It's really, really important for you to be able to have an outlet to release those things, because they are creating an emotional toll on your vitality. So as we go into thinking about how we can incorporate and put these ideas into action, are there any particular things that I just mentioned that are really connecting with you? I would love for you to type them down below, just write them in, and let me know, like, what is the stuff that is making the most sense to you, that is really resonating with you and that I'm saying. And so I just want to take a moment to say hello to some of the people that are here. So hi, Jaylene, you're here with me. I love this. And Martha, and anybody that's here in the replay. I know there's always tends to be more people that watch afterwards. And so I just encourage you to share with me, because I come in and can keep the conversation going. So let's answer some of the things that they're saying. Water, what? Do you want me to go back over that hydration formula, Martha? The hydration formula is take your weight and multiply it by 67%. And you'll come up with the amount of ounces that you need for your body. And of course, it's generalized, but it's a really good, hi Jaylee. It's a really good rule of thumb to be able to go by. And let's see, I see lots of hearts, lots of check boxes as I look at who's here. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Over here on my business page, not everybody knows where I am. So thank you for finding me. So as we think about implementing these things, I want to just share what I experienced firsthand in seeing how vitality plays a part in our lives. When I was growing up, I had two really big influences that were around me a lot of the time, and that was my mother and my grandmother. My dad, who I just loved dearly. I would see him on the weekends, every other weekend. And to me, as a kid, it just did not feel like enough time. But the women that had the most influence on me that I was around most of the time was my mother and my grandmother. My mother, anybody that knew me growing up was like, your mom. My mom was a trip, you guys. She is not here. So I want to honor her. And I don't want to just like throw her under the bus, obviously. I want to honor her. But I would say, to be safe in just sharing, she was quite judgmental and critical woman. But I just want to say she obviously had a lot of internal conflicts, okay? And those internal conflicts, she did hand over to God. That was her way of processing, but she'd never got any wellness help or I would say mental and emotional help through therapy or being able to process those emotions. I think that she did do some things through her church. So my point in telling you this story is the people that had the most influence on me made a huge difference in my life and realizing I had choices. Am I going to go this way or am I going to go that way? Or I could design a life of my own. And I want you to think about the people that have had a huge influence in your life. Who are they? Can you think of them? Give me a little ding, raise your hand, or give me the light bulb emoji, or hit the heart. You can think of somebody in your life that have huge influence. Now, wait a minute, because I want you to think about this. Not just the influence of they were so positive and they were so wonderful and they, gave you all these like rules of life to live by, to have a happy, vital life. You might notice that there's people in your life that didn't make good choices and they didn't live their life with vitality. And so therefore it has caused you to value vitality, to value and appreciate things that bring you a life of happiness, of energy, of strength. That's what vitality is, right? So as I look at my influences, my mom kept a lot of stuff inside and we constantly had a tumultuous relationship. I really wanted to make sure that I had a relationship with my mom. And so I was the facilitator in my family. I was the one, like everybody always came to my house for Christmas or birthdays or whatnot. And so I worked hard at that relationship, but it was very difficult. We were constantly butting heads. And my mom, ultimately, she gave up. She gave up on her life. My brother had died of drug addiction 8 months before she died. And so I do feel that she was in deep depression and grief, right? She was dealing with grief. And when she had an illness that shouldn't have taken her life, she had diverticulitis. That's something that you can heal from. But for her, she just was like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm ready to be done. And she literally said the words, I have given up. She said those from her lips. I heard them with my own ears and my mouth dropped. I just thought, how do you do that? Why would you want to do that? And I think it's because she didn't have a lot of love and connection in her life. And we all know that to live a vital life, it is so, love and connection is such a huge factor of our vitality, right? Hearts, 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 fireworks of hearts, please. If I could push them, I would right now. Love is a huge factor of our vitality. And it starts here, starts within ourselves, how we love ourselves with food, with exercise, with hydration, things that we talked about tonight, with our relationships, being willing to stick in there with the people that we love and have those conversations, have communication, see one another's point of view. All of this is our strength and our vitality. And with my mother, she was just done. She was done, and so she gave up. And when she did give up, she was in an obese state and a depressed state. Absolute opposite of vitality, And so that would be one way of living or not living. Or I could look at my grandmother, who was my mother's mother, who passed at 103 of no disease. She just passed in her sleep. And she said, I hope I wake up in the arms of Grandpa. She loved her husband. She was married to him for over 60 years. And even though, I want to make sure I share this, even though she did not live a perfect life, they had their rounds. They went, my grandfather was not always honorable to my grandmother. She had a child that died at 3 years old. So she had grief that she lived with her whole life. But what I can tell you about my grandmother is she had a grace. She had a grace about her. All the times when I remember visiting her as a child, I'm getting like choked up thinking about it. She always felt warm and loving. And that was something my mom didn't feel, that I didn't feel with my mom. And so my point is that she found a way to move through those struggles and those circumstances with a spirit about her. This is a woman that jogged, I kid you not, jogged all the way through her 90s. And so therefore, I just want to leave you with the idea that vitality is your choice. It is your choice. And so I encourage you to just wake up your mindset to incorporating vitality. Wake up your best. That happens to be on my website at wakeupyourbest.com. And so I offer you to just go and check out. I have a program that I'm running right now called the Mind Body Fit Intensive. And it's for those people that really just want to feel vitally alive. You want to get your health and your fitness in order, but you also have some burdens that you want to let go of. And I am a trained hypnotherapist to help you to be able to work those things out efficiently and easily and with the most proficient way possible for you to feel uplifted through the experience. So I encourage you to go to wakeupyourbest.com, and I also encourage you to just post right here, share with me some of the things that you choose to implement tonight. And I would love for you to say, yes, I am making the choice of waking up my vitality. Say yes to that. Wake up your vitality. Thanks you guys for being here with me tonight. I appreciate your presence, whether you're here live or you're here in the replay. And gosh, there's so many great cheers to the grandmas, right? Oh my gosh, yes, like it makes me tearful thinking about it. You're an amazing grandmother, Martha. I'm reading what Martha says. And I would encourage you guys to take a moment and thumb through what other people are saying, because I think it's really amazing to create connection with one another and just be like, yeah, I got you. I hear you. I get what you're saying. I agree with you. I see you. I hear you. I agree with you. And I honor your intentions of vitality. Thanks you guys for being here. I'm going to sign off. Jaylene says, life is made up of all our choices. Loving yourself more is about making good choices more often than not, whether it is food, thoughts, or actions. Says by the woman who shed 100 pounds, shed an unhappy marriage, and started making double her income in a new career. I would listen to her. I'd listen to what Jaylene's got to say. So, I just appreciate you guys, your presence here. Thank you so much for being here. And please share this broadcast with those that you love, that you feel like really want to change your lives and incorporate some of the things we've talked about in this message. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later. See you next time for Freedom Friday right here. Same time, same place, 6 p.m. Have a great evening. Bye-bye. 3, 2, 1.